Hello, everyone. This is Brian Burrows, owner of buyorsellwithme.com, powered by Equity Real Estate. A question that a lot of people always ask, and very well deserving, is Brian, out of all of the realtors out there, there are literally, thousands upon thousands of realtors in Salt Lake. Why on earth should we choose you? And I give them kind of a good answer and tell them exactly what I can do. And some of them go on their way and some of them say, hey, let me go ahead and learn more. So I'm going to go ahead and show you guys, based by example, exactly what I do for my buyers and sellers. So we're going to call this a tale of two sales, why buyers and sellers should work with me. The first one is a buyer's tale. This is a buyer that I actually worked with for quite a few months, had a little bit of some sticky situations, and kind of fine-tuned what I do, at least, to help buyers out. So, not all buyers have thousands and thousands of dollars to put over the value of a home. That's kind of what's going on right now. Is a lot of people are putting these offers in $20,000 to $80,000, and it's just choking out a lot of buyers. And so, if it's a home that shows really well, those homes are going like crazy. If it doesn't show all that well, or maybe there's a condition with it, maybe if it's not priced right, those are the homes that are still sticking out on the market. And you may have a little bit better chance. But with this particular buyer, not a ton of money to put down. Had the 3.5%, which was fine. Not everyone even needs that to buy a home, but the 3.5% to put down was a really great starting point. But every home that we were looking at, we looked at so many homes on this. We placed offers on 8 homes. We kept getting choked out on every single home. They came back and said, hey, we'll take your offer if you can up your amount. And it just wasn't working out. Prices were going well over that loan qualification. We needed to stay within the loan qualification because we simply didn't have the money wasn't there to just pay extra for a house over what it was valued at. And so those loans were not, the amount that they would qualify for that loan, not quite exactly what those homes were going for and what we could get. But I looked for months for this buyer. I was just so engrossed in just making sure that they had something. Let me go ahead and show you exactly what we found for them. This home, it may not show really well with the photos, but it was on the market for 14 days. And in a market like this, 14 days, something's wrong. It's either price or something itself with the house. I looked at this. It was listed about $15,000-ish over market. And so that may be one of the reasons it wasn't, a lot of people weren't going through and taking a look, but they were getting very low traffic on this house. Let me go ahead and just show you kind of exactly what these photos look like. And then we'll talk a little bit and we'll do a comparison between this house and then what I do. And I'll show you a similar house that I listed. And when I say similar, I mean the same kind of condition, some of the condition issues with the house, and the way that it showed. If you just, kind of walked in and looked at the house, it showed about, in a different light. So I not to knock the agent on this, but, sometimes if you want to take a picture, maybe not all include all of the pictures. I always like to, see photos of an actual house. Trees are nice, but people, when it comes right down to it, really just want to look at the house. So, okay. And so these are the inside shots. You can see, carpet, a little bit dated, but it still looks okay. But from some of these photos, and we're going to look at them, the kitchen looked okay. And, with the lights on, that really actually helped out with the photos. But these are the photos the agent used. And I'm again, only using these in as example. This is a house that I helped my buyer purchase, and just kind of what we're looking at as far as what's on the MLS, and kind of taking notes of exactly how this home showed. It didn't quite show in the best light. I just think that it could have been a little bit better myself, and I'll show you exactly what I've done on a house that kind of about the same situation. But we did end up getting an offer in on this. I ended up saying, hey, it's about $10,000 over. We dropped the price by $10,000 on the offer, asked for $5,000 in concessions. The sellers just weren't getting any other offers. They did accept our offer, and we went with the flow. It was a little bit of a challenge getting them to really, getting their agent to really just stick with it. But because they weren't getting anything, they kind of lost a little bit of faith in their agent, I think, where you're looking at your neighbors' houses and they're all selling in 2 days and they're under contract, and you're sitting there for 14 days and the house hasn't moved. Now, for those people who may have bought their house way back in the 80s and and maybe in the early 90s, homes back then sat on the market for upwards of 6 to 9 months before anyone took a look. So you guys are probably spinning things around in your head going, wow, this market even at 14 days is crazy, right? But the market itself, if advertised right, is about 2 days right now. It is absolutely nuts. And so I'm going to go ahead and show you guys kind of what I did and how I help my sellers. So the sellers, there's a little bit of background. They had the house, said, hey, here are the keys. We're moving out. We need it sold though, because we're going to buy another house and we need the money for that house. And so I said, all right, sounds good to me. I'll go ahead and list your house, and we'll fix it up, do what we need to make sure that it looks in its prime. So anyway, there were 2 rooms in the house, and the sellers never did anything. They bought the house as is, never touched it up, didn't change anything. So there are 2 rooms that they were definitely not the best looking rooms. So I actually spent 2 days, 12 hours each day. I think on the second day it was actually closer to 16, but went out and painted those 2 rooms because we needed to get it listed, and I just didn't have time to wait for a painter to come in. I came over, cleaned the carpets. I have a professional team of house cleaners, and I pay for that service as well. So they came through, cleaned the house, got rid of all the cobwebs, all the little dirt spots, which there were quite a few in this house. Really took care of it. Had the house staged. Now, this is something that not everyone wants to see, and you'll see in the photos how a complete stage is, but not everyone needs a complete stage. A lot of people may have their furniture and they may have their house set up the way they want. We can get somebody in there to help you stage just with existing items in your house, maybe add a little bit to it to make things pop and show a little bit better. But for these sellers, I split the costs to stage their home. So I'm into this house quite a bit of money already with all this. I think I just helping out my sellers on this one, I was over $3,000 total. I hire a professional photographer and they do videography work for me. They tie that in with the advertising that I run and everything else. So just as a basic list of exactly how I help these sellers and kind of how I help others. We listed this on Monday. We ran weeks all week, run ads all week on Facebook. This one got 68,000 views, and it is one of the houses that had the biggest turnout. I'm still trying to beat this record, but I sent out personal invites to all the neighboring houses. So there's about 200 homes surrounding this that I went and knocked on the doors. Of course, maybe about 5% of them actually answered the door, left the invite, come on out to our open house. We'd love to see you. Now, we held the open house on Saturday. I just want to put a little note on this. If you guys are still in your house, you haven't left, one of the other things that I really actually like to do, you don't have to, of course, you don't have to have it, all of these services, you don't have to have all these things. We do have other ways to make things work for you. But, one of the things that's really nice is to actually bring the neighborhood in and have a little banquet, kind of a going away party for the sellers. Let people talk to them, say, hey, it's so great that you're going to sell your house. But the main reason that we want those neighbors there is because it's about 25% of homes that are sold. The neighbors, especially if they already know, if they know you, if they come over, they have food, they'll talk, things will come up in their mind, and all of a sudden they have 5 or 6 people, or several more people to add to your open house. So they say, hey, my so and so is looking for a house, or this would be perfect for my son, or those types of things. So it's a really good idea to actually bring the neighbors in to help you sell this house when we get this all set up. But hold the whole open house on Saturday, had it open for about 6 hours. All offers were due by Monday with an acceptance date of Tuesday. So on Monday, I was just, checking in with all these offers, checking the lenders, checking things out with the agents that sent them, check the offers themselves, make sure that they didn't have any weird stipulations or clauses that were going to hold up the sale, and really just made sure that my sellers were well taken care of on this one. And I always do things like this for every single seller that I have. I can't tell you how many times I put in a lot of work. But this house, it really was quite similar as far as condition wise as the last house that you guys just looked at. So I'm just going to go through a couple of photos. Kind of, aerial photos are always nice because sometimes they're not, but sometimes they are, because you can see what's on the top of the roof. People can check things out from all sides. Gives it kind of an idea of how the property looks. Okay. And I hope you guys can already see that staging a house really has some significant advantages. We'll go through. And, really the main goal in staging and getting photography and things like that is so that the house will show, just like, when you're on those house catalogs or Better Homes and Gardens, things like that. We really want people seeing this house as a place that they can live. When they see something like this, they say, oh, wow, what a good idea. Look at how this was set up. I really like the way that all of these things were sitting here. And so they can actually see themselves living in the house when it is staged, and when it's staged well. So again, you guys can use your own furniture. We can make sure that the furniture that you have, we can make sure that it works some way. All right. I'm just going to pause here because this is the most time-consuming room. There was another room that only needed one wall taken care of, but if you guys can imagine this house, another agent may just said, well, you said go ahead and list it, I'm going to go ahead and do that. This window, where the window is, that back wall, that was actually a chocolate brown color, and the trim was actually the same color as the wall. The other 3 walls coming around, those walls were all a lime green. Now my sellers, they didn't choose this. The color choices were there from somebody else. They just never took care of it. They never changed the color out. They had some paint in the basement, so that was nice. I didn't have to go buy paint. We just kind of used what was there. So the first step was actually just covering up everything with a primer coat, get those dark colors hidden, and then paint over the top of it. Painted out the trim, made sure that everything looks good. And I hope that you guys can all agree that this would probably look a little bit better than chocolate brown and lime green. All right, we're going to go ahead and just scoot along through. And this one, if you guys look at this, you know, most people look at the furniture, they look at the way that the setup is. Not too many people are all that excited about a dark basement, which this was. We had to lighten this with flashes and, you know, photography tricks to make sure there was even more light so that people would really see this. Because if we didn't, it would have just been one of those other dark photos like the basement bathroom. This room had no light in it whatsoever. But the biggest thing that I want to point out on this, you guys can see the stained carpet, you know, and you may not have even seen it until I pointed that out. That carpet was pretty bad, but not a single buyer that walked through said a single thing. The agents, some of the agents kind of tried to trash it, trying to, you know, bring it down. Hey, you're never going to sell this for as much as you're trying to get. But, you know, not even a concern whatsoever. There were so many people in this house, and I'll go over numbers in just a minute. Okay. And then this one was the other one, this back wall where this map is, that was kind of a reddish brown color. It didn't look too bad. The main problem with that wall, it was just that it was all scratched up, and you know, you could see white coming through all of the color and things like that. So I actually had to patch some of the wall and fix it too. So you know, that's some of the stuff that I do. Sometimes you know, you don't get a perfect house every single time. Sometimes you have to help people out. All right, so I do have a promotional video. It doesn't show through with this program very well. So if you guys want to see how everything came together and see my promo videos and learn a little bit more about why you should choose me, go to my website at this location, buyorsellwithme.com/why me, and learn a little bit more, see those videos. All right, so the results of, you know, doing all of this work and bringing all of this about, you know, I think on this one I was into it, you know, close to 80 hours just for that week. You know, I don't know another realtor that will work that hard just to help their clients sell their house and make sure that they get the most money. But we had 208 interested parties that walked through the open house. We had more people come to the open house, and I was sitting upstairs kind of watching out the window and just seeing what was going on. There were no parking spots anywhere in that neighborhood. People were walking 2-3 blocks away just to come and see this house. So some of the cars that I saw coming in, I saw the people inside and I never saw them come in. I know exactly what those people were. They were just looking for a good deal, try and get it the first day they can, get it fast, get it quick, get it under contract type of thing, and just try and get it for as little amount of money as possible. Probably thinking about the same, you know, as I did with the other buyer that I had, and just try and, you know, get it at market value and fight to do that. But when they saw all of those people in this open house, they knew there was no chance of that happening. We had 20 offers. The first one was 5 minutes into the open house, sold for well over asking price, and I have some very happy sellers as a result. If you guys are thinking about buying or selling, I would be the first one that you should call. There is no one else that will work as hard as I will. Visit my website, look at houses, sign up, and you can get houses sent to you as they come on the MLS. Buyandsellinutah.com. I'm Brian Burrows with Equity Real Estate. When you think real estate, you know, you really should be thinking Brian. All right. You can always give me a call as well. My phone number is 801-920-9343. All right. And I look forward to talking to you.